Hi, and welcome to Happy Fisherman Adventures.
I hope, I dream, I wish to catch a big fish, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman. Well, today we got a new presenter, the Copperhead girl.
Oh, that's right. Ever since last Friday, or for the last week, he actually has been singing me the special song.
The song, wait. Here we go, I have to do this.
You're gonna do this, right?
Of course I have to do this, sorry. For my time I've been told, better stay away from Copperhead Road.
He needs to listen. Anyway, let's start with the fishing show, and in today's episode, it's all about King George whiting with Archie, Dean, his dad, and Pop.
We actually managed to get quite a few King George whiting, but it's not all about King George whiting because we started with slimy mackerel, pinkies. So we were at the old channel, so there is no tricks. You're going to see exactly where we are. 12 meters of water. Accidentally, as we wanted to leave Dean through a soft plastic, he got one King George whiting and said, okay, now we're not leaving. And we end up getting quite a few. So let's hear from Dean and Archie.
Welcome back to another video of Happy Fisherman.
On today's adventure, we head out of Clifton Springs to try our luck out on Port Phillip Bay.
First, we went to Jackrabbit to target some squid.
And what happened when we got there?
We only caught one squid,
So then, after about 25 minutes, we head out to the old channel.
and that's when we started to catch some more fish.
So, let's watch the first video.
On today's fishing adventure, I went out with my pa, dad, and Tibby. We went off Clifton Springs to catch all different type of fish. And first, we went to Jackrabbit to catch some squid, but we only caught one. After 20 minutes, we went to the old channel to try to catch some bigger fish. As we got there, we were catching slimy mackerels very quickly. I was the first one to catch some, and then Dad and Pa and Tibby. There was plenty slimy mackerel around, and it's very fun to catch them like here. We were catching most of our slimy mackerel on the Paternoster rig, and we were using pilchard for bait. Slimy mackerel are really good bait for gummies and snapper, and they're really yum to eat if you smoke them. My pa hasn't been on the water for a very long time, and he was very excited to go out fishing, and he did catch quite a lot of fish. As you can see, I'm on the other side of the boat, and I'm still catching just as much on the other side. There must have been thousands of slimy mackerel under the boat. Some of the slimy mackerel were really, really big. Finally, I caught a different species, a snotty trevally, and then Tibby dropped it at the boat. And then at the very next drop, I caught another one. And this time, we finally got it in the boat. In no time, we started to catch quite a few different species, and I caught a big banjo shark. At first, I was hoping it was a big snapper, but it wasn't. There's plenty of banjo sharks around Port Phillip Bay, but we don't eat them, so we carefully release them. As you can see, it's quite safe to hold banjo sharks with your hands because they have no spikes. In no time, I was onto another fish and then Mum called me.
Mum, right now is not the time. Just press the...
Just don't let the rod
I
out.
want a big fish right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's fighting a fish.
I don't know what it is. I caught it.
This time it was an even bigger banjo shark. I was very happy. After we got him in the boat, we took the hook out and carefully released him. And then Dad caught a yucca, which is an awesome bait for snapper. It's safe to say that I caught 4 banjo sharks today. In the next video, we were packing up and then Dad did one more cast with a soft plastic and he was on.
As we were in the 9 metres out in the channel there, it's not uncommon to get whiting, but not all that common as well. So once we'd got one, we couldn't leave now. So let's watch the next video and see how we go.
As we were packing up, Dad did one last cast and he caught a King George whiting on a soft plastic. We couldn't leave now, so we got the rods back out and started fishing for more King George whiting. In no time, I was on. King George whiting are not normally targeted in 9 metres of water, but that's where they were today. As you could see, they're very big and we caught lots over 40 centimetres. After we got this one in the boat, I was on another fish in no time. The next fish was a flathead, which is my mum's favourite. And then my dad caught another nice King George whiting on a soft plastic. Dad loves fishing with soft plastics. When we're fishing for whiting, we always use our turtleback worms. One of the good things of using soft plastics is you normally catch bigger fish. We started to catch more whiting, but we also caught a few other fish in between. Normally this spot is filled with pinkies, but today we only caught a couple. I love catching pinkies, but today they were all undersized. I decided to have a break to have my lunch, and then Dad, Tibby and Pa, they started catching lots of different species. It's good to see our bay nice and healthy and so many different type of fish.
For me, it was a great day out on the water to have my son and my dad out on Tibby's boat. We had an absolute ball, didn't we, Arch?
Yes, but I think I caught the most fish today.
Oh, that's debatable, but you might have just.
Yes, big and Thank you to Tibby for taking us out today. It was very fun.
It was not overly surprising to find these fish out in the deep water with all the boat traffic out and all the jet skis in the shallows. For me, today it was great spending time out on the water with my family, the 3 generations of us out on the water all catching fish together. As you can see, Dad and Arch had a great time fishing, and the big bonus was towards the end there getting onto those good quality King George whiting. We can only really put this one down to that time in the tide maybe. Although the whiting were definitely the standout fish for the day, the slimy mackerel are a really fun species to fish for, especially when fishing with kids. As you can see, Arch was definitely the standout angler today, but we did also manage to catch a few fish in between. It was great to have my dad out on the water catching King George whiting, as that's not normally a species he targets. Pick of the baits today was definitely a cocktail of pilchard and pippy, with nearly all the fish being mid-30s to over 40 centimetres. We fished a couple of different rigs on this trip, one being the Paternoster rig and one just a standard whiting rig. But we did notice on the Paternoster rig we were only getting the fish on that bottom hook. So this does go to show that the whiting were definitely feeding on the bottom. At one stage, for about 45 minutes, it was a fish every drop, and then, after a little while, they just turned off like a light switch. Once the whiting really started to fire up, it was odd to see that all the other species disappeared. We did have the snapper rods out, baited with bigger baits, but unfortunately for us, not one single run. There was a few other boats around in the channel, but by the looks they were all targeting snapper with not much luck. Obviously they didn't know that the King George whiting were there, so it definitely pays to mix up your techniques and try a few different things just to see what's around. Another species which is quite common out here is the garfish. People don't generally target them, but they are very common out here in the deep water. So it was about 4:30, the fish really went off the bite, so it was time to pack up the gear and head on in. A great investment when chasing whiting is the Humble Scaler bag. Just make sure you get a quality one and just tow it nice and slow behind the boat. Another great tip when you've got kids out on a boat is to teach them how to safely drive the boat at a young age.
Well, quite few people do ask you about the setup for King George whiting. So can you explain what's going on?
We're going to show exactly on this video, we're going to show a short, like uncut version of exactly what we're using. But this is the rod that I use. I use a little Phantom, obviously Diver Phantom. It's a 1 to 3 kilo rod. I like to use fast rod and carbon fiber. So either carbon fiber or graphite. I mean, it's more modern. They're a little bit stiffer at the top compared to traditional King George whiting rods. And obviously 1,000 or even 2.5 you can use with 6-pound bride and then just a leader. Now, we call it whiting rig, and well, sliding rig, but it's really a dropper rig. So all it is, you have your leader, which is about 80 centimeters, and in the middle we got a dropper, just about a couple inches dropper with small sinker. So that's it. That's our hook. Obviously, I use 8-0 hooks. You can use 6-0. It really doesn't matter, long shank. Or you can use, obviously, the Mutu hooks. And if you uncertain of these rigs, I said before, Brett Reed's, the Paternoster rigs are exactly this, are ready to make. All you do is put a sinker on and you're ready to fish. But it's easy to make and absolutely dynamite for King George whiting. Doesn't matter. Western Port, they used to call it Western Port rig as well. Little bit of pippy, little bit of pilchard, and that's it. Well, here we go. It's a dropper loop. We obviously have a single long shank hook and just a little bit of pippy and a little bit of pilchard. We drop it. We make sure it hits the ground and then we lock the bail. Then basically you wait. But while we're waiting, we still have a bit of tension on the line. As you can see there, I wind the line enough so I'm in contact with my sinker, so I can always feel that there is tension on the line. So when they nibble, the first time they nibble, I let it be. The second time they nibble, then I act on it. When the whiting is actually going crazy and obviously they're hungry, you can put the rod in the holder, they'll take it, bend it, and there you go. But when they're actually finicky, again, this is what we do. So a little bit of pilchard, a little bit of pipi, and here is everything in real time. And I can't forget to say, all this was filmed by young Archer. So my little cameraman saw how I dropped the line, then he came and took a really nice angle to see Dad's rod and my rod at the same time. My one went off straight away. So here we are. We on to another King George whiting. But I was still on pippies and pilchard, while Dean, he was fishing with soft plastics. And I have to be honest, soft plastics did catch bigger fish. Well, this uncut video, it's gonna show you how quick we were catching. So I was on, there we go, Dean's on a soft plastic, as he mentioned, turtleback, pumpkin seed. It's the best plastic for King George whiting by far. In meantime, Dean's dad on Paternoster rig this time, he was on as well. So you can see hell broke loose here. Was fish after fish and good fish, good size fish. So yeah, it was actually awesome action. Here, bang, and he missed. Unfortunately, it does happen a lot because they are finicky, so they don't just grab, swallow the bait and go. So you have to catch them. But no long after, that fish came back, and guess what? Dean's dad was on another fish. Again, beautiful size King George whiting.
Let's go home.
Oh, yeah, got you. Yeah. Oh.
While I was cutting the bait and setting up my rod, Dean was on another one. Again, turtleback worm. It's amazing how it works. Dean obviously is a master in the plastics. He uses them on bream, estuary perch, flatties. He actually loves fishing with soft plastics. And with King George whiting, the trick that we learned from him is that you don't work the plastic like you would do with flathead or any other fish. You drop it down, maybe sometimes slowly make a little movement and just let it be. Also, I was amazed that Dean doesn't use assist hook when he's targeting King George whiting. Normally they got small mouth and you need to put that extra little hook. But he was catching them straight on a jig head, and yeah, quite nice size and quite often. So today, Tinganosta, Paternoster or soft plastic, everything just worked.
I think I'm gonna come here. Yeah,
Whoa, you do. There's like a.
silver and a whiting, eh? Yeah. Mackerel and a white. Yeah, but look, yeah.
Oh, I got a par.
Oh no, the other one got away.
Hey.
Mackerel.
Oh, you lost it. Good one.
Yeah, that's a
Well, the question we all want to know, where is the fish?
Well,
Lately, we have been struggling a little bit with tuna. One day they're there, the next day they're not. One day you see them, but they're not biting. I mean, we tried a couple of times out here at the Bowen Heads. We didn't have any luck with tuna.
A bit frustrating when you see them and they're there, but they just don't want to go. And yeah, 4 days ago they were going bananas, so everybody was getting them. And then since last Sunday till today, no tuna to show. Kingfish turned up yesterday in the rip. Everybody was getting them. There was a lot of kingfish there. Today people were in the rip and not much luck. So it's fishing. So one day you can see them, you can do whatever. If they're not in the mood to eat, don't worry about it. But we're lucky because we still got plenty of squid around at the moment, which is awesome to see. Queenscliff, awesome. St. Leonard's, indented heads. On the other side, Portsea, plenty of squid at the moment. King George whiting showed, I just got them the other day. Well, you've seen in last episode in a little poly, we got them just in front of the Clifton Springs, 2.5 meters of water. They're still there. I've been getting them, I went a few times already. They're still around. Snapper, daylight to sunrise. If you miss that block, that little bit, don't worry about it. That timing is crucial at the moment for snapper. Brett Reed's been doing, again, really good, but he's dedicated. You know, you have to be persistent. You have to spend some time. It's just, sometimes that's hard work, but he knows what he's doing. Well, guys, thanks again for your support. We actually received a really nice message from Max and Kat. And Max is, he was a professional fisherman. He's 8 years old at the moment. Yeah. Since 14 years old, he was fishing around Port Phillip Bay, Bass Strait, Gulf of Carpentaria, and he apparently and his wife really enjoy watching our show. So thank you, and we really appreciate it.
And once again, thank you for watching, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will see you next time.
I hope, I dream, I wish to catch a big fish, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman.